Welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. My man over here to the left is Marcus on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Marcus, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, Michael. Real excited about tonight. Tonight's a big game. We'll get into that a little later. But yeah, I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah, today's theme is going to be contenders and pretenders, and this is about the time of year where Major League Baseball teams start to clear house, and like this is where the pretenders clear out all their good guys and send them to contenders, and hopefully they get some good picks. Houston's kind of in limbo a little bit. They are definitely a contender, I think, but they did trade Dallas Kaiser to the Atlanta Braves. I believe he is making a prorated $21 million a year, so he's getting like 13 million. Like I think you as a Houston Astros fan, how do you feel about that trade for first? And is this good for the Braves?
He didn't resign with the Astros. They tendered him an offer, and it was like $18 million, and he refused it because he wanted to hit the free agent market. And so he's been Dallas Keuchel and Craig Kimbrel have been in limbo here because if anybody signed them before about 3 days ago, they would have had to give up compensatory draft picks, and nobody wants to give up draft picks. So Kimbrel signed with the Cubs, and then now Dallas Keuchel signed with the Atlanta Braves. I think this makes the Atlanta Braves a favorite to come out of the National League East. Their pitching hasn't been great. I always butcher this guy's name. He was an All-Star last year for the Braves. He's not having a great year this year, but I like Mike Soroka, Julian Teheran. They have some good pitching, and the Braves have a great lineup. Freddie Freeman's one of the best hitters I've ever seen, and when you have Albies and Acuna and Swanson, and they have a really, really good lineup. Austin Riley's come into his own now for the Atlanta Braves, part of that good 2015 draft class with Alex Bregman and a bunch of other good players. So I really think this makes Keuchel he could become an ace. It's going to be interesting to see how well he performs, having that long layoff. He was also injured, so we'll see how well he performs. But Keuchel, when he's on, he's on. He's not a hard thrower, but he gets people out, and I can't wait to see if he becomes the Atlanta Braves ace, or what he does in the rotation. Because I think he'll probably start the wild card game, start game one of the playoffs. I think this makes the Braves the favorite to win the National League East this year.
Yeah, and he is a former Cy Young, uh, so
Yes.
he definitely has some gas in the tank. Like obviously, you don't always have to throw the ball hard to do well in the major leagues. Look at all the Braves pitchers from early, late '90s. Like you had John
Yeah.
Smokes and Tom Glavine. None of those guys threw over like 95, but they hit the spots and they did really, 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 really
Right.
well. So.
Yeah, just real quick on that, it's another subject, but kind of the subject what you just brought up, though. I think that's why you can make the case for Greg Maddux being maybe the best pitcher of all time
Yeah,
because he played in the era where everybody was taking steroids, and he wasn't juiced. He didn't take steroids.
yeah,
He threw about 88, 89 miles per hour and still got all the steroids guys out. Still
yeah.
had a great ERA, which is amazing to me.
That
So
that pitching staff from the Braves and that was like from like 92 or 93 to like 97, 98. It was very, very impressive of what they did.
yeah, do you think we'll ever see another 300 game winner? I think
Mm,
Randy Johnson was the last one, Tom Glavine. But I mean, even 200 wins, you have to be great to get 200 wins. I think Kurt Schilling only ended up with like 216. Um, I mean, I don't think we'll ever see another 300 game winner.
the only guy I
It's
could think of that might have a chance is the long-haired guy from San Francisco Giants. I think he's only like 24, 25 years old.
okay.
Syndergaard, I think his name is. I'm
Oh, from the Mets.
yeah, him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they call him Thor, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, or is
Um,
that? Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
he gets on a team that's not the Mets, he has a very good possibility because last year, he was the Cy Young winner for the NL or
Right.
for the AL, like I should say, and he only had like 7 wins. So he needs to get on a different team to help him win a little bit more, but he might be the only one that has a shot.
Yeah, and Verlander, I think, has like 211 wins or something, but that's still Verlander would have to think about that for a second.
A
Verlander
average
would
pitcher
have
gets
to
about
win.
14, 13 wins a year. So,
Yeah, so
put
he
that in
would have to
perspective.
get 14, 15 wins a year for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable. I don't think he can get. I mean, that's not going to happen.
I
That's
don't
what
think he
makes
has
Greg
eight.
Maddux.
I don't think he has 8 years left in him because
Nah,
I feel like he's been in here forever. I don't know,
right.
12 years. I think he's been in the league. Maybe it seems like he's been here for forever.
And then that's what makes Greg Maddux so special. Think about that for a second. 355 wins.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
it's
And,
wrap your head around it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, 355. Think about how great Verlander's been. I mean, he would have to win 20 games a year for the next 8 years to match Greg Maddux in wins. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But good baseball talk. We can move on.
Yeah, I mean, like I could talk baseball like all
Yeah.
day. I love baseball. It's America's pastime, etc. But guys, this is the time of year that teams really decide if they're pretenders or if they're contenders. You'll see teams like the Kansas City. We'll trade off our good assets to teams that want to give us 3 or 4 picks for our shortstop or something like that.
Right.
So you'll start seeing some big moves here soon in the next month.
And with the Braves making this move, they feel like, just like you said, they're all in.
Yeah, well,
this wasn't a move to, and I'm going to be right with them. I think they're all in. I think they come out of the National League East, and I think they win that division, and the Braves are in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean they are only 2 games behind the Phillies, anyways, in that conference or division.
Right.
However they refer it to, I can't remember for sure, but they're only 2 games behind. So I mean they're right there. So this definitely puts them over that hump. So
Right.
to continue our theme of contenders and pretenders, tonight is Game 4 of the NBA Finals. KD has officially been ruled out of tonight's game. Klay Thompson has been ruled in. So the first question that I have for you is: are the Raptors contenders or are they just pretenders at this point?
Oh no, they're definitely contenders. I picked the Raptors to win in 7, as long as Kevin Durant didn't play. If Kevin Durant came back and played, then it's all bets are off. I mean, the Kevin Durant Golden State Warriors could beat the Michael Jordan Bulls. I'm just gonna throw that out there. They're
Shots
that good.
fired.
With Kevin Durant, I mean, dude, they think about a 73-win team with those 3 or 4 as a nucleus, with Iguodala and Curry and Thompson and Green, and then you add Kevin Durant. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, that's why LeBron didn't really stand a chance in 2017 and 2018. But without Kevin Durant, Toronto plays good enough defense to make things difficult for the Golden State Warriors. And plus, with a little bit of hobble Klay Thompson, we'll see how well he plays defense and coming off screens. I think Toronto gets this game tonight. I think they're contenders. And the thing of it is, Golden State has a better star power. Klay Thompson, Green, Curry. I get that. Iguodala is a former Olympian, All-Star, Finals MVP. They're the more star power.
Former.
Yeah, right. People know those names. Nobody really knows, Pascal Siakam. People are tuning into the finals. They're like, who are these guys, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like one. But Toronto actually has a better team, Michael, 1 through 10. Like, say we started a draft, right?
I even saw on their roster they have Jeremy Lin on there. You guys remember Jeremy Lin when he did the Lin Sanity, and he signed like $100 million contract. I think it was like the Rockets or somebody. He's still floating around the league, still doing good things.
Yeah, he was with the Knicks with the Lin Sanity. Yeah, and he doesn't even. It was the Knicks, the Lin Sanity thing, and he doesn't even play.
Yeah, he gets like a minute a game, if that.
Yeah. Van Fleet would have to, his back would have to completely give out, and he does. Lin Sanity doesn't play. Jeremy Lin. So, Van Fleet took him out of there. Van Fleet's a hell of a player too.
I brought that up just to show you the depth of the roster that they have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 1 through, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
1 through 10, Toronto's better. Now, if we had a draft and we said, okay, we're going to start a new team with Toronto, and of course, Golden State would be it would be Kawhi Leonard and the 4 Golden State players probably. Although I think I'd take Siakam, maybe over Draymond because about the age. But I'm not. But once you get through 6 through 10, it'll be all Raptors.
Yeah.
So Toronto probably has the Not probably. I think they do have the best roster 1 through 10. So this is no fluke here. They are not a pretender. They could get it done tonight. It's so interesting tonight. This could go a bunch of ways. Well, it could go 3 ways. That's still a bunch. You're either going to see in the fourth quarter Golden State high-fiving with 6 minutes left to go. Klay Thompson's got 30, Curry's got 40, and we're on their series is tied 2-2, and we're on the way to the Scotia Center in Toronto to try to go up 3-2. The other way is Klay Thompson's running around hobbled. They're trying their best out, but Toronto's playing great defense. Toronto's making shots, and Toronto is high-fiving in the fourth quarter with a few minutes left to go, saying, okay, we took a commanding 3-1 lead, and now we're headed back to our place, the Scotia Center, and in Toronto, and we'll see if we can win this series in 5, which is amazing. Nobody had that, not even me, and I love Toronto. Or this is the third thing that can happen. The game is 95-95 with 2 minutes left, and it's a nail biter, and we'll see who makes the game-winning shot: Curry, Thompson, or Kawhi Leonard, or Danny Green. Which way do you think it's going to go? You see a Toronto take a commanding lead, kind of blowout? Do you see Golden State taking a blowout, or do you see this thing nail biter? 3 minutes left, and let's see who makes the big shot.
I think with the addition of Klay Thompson tonight, if he's anywhere 80% above as far as his his health-wise goes, I'm going to pick a close game. I think this is kind of a must situation for Golden State right now. I think because you cannot go down 3-1 to any team and expect to win 3 straight games to win this series, especially a Game 7 in Toronto. So Golden State is they're in a must-win situation right now. A Klay Thompson 80% or better, let's say 75 to 95% Klay Thompson, it is going to be a close game. If Klay Thompson is 100% like he says he is, which I doubt he is, it will be a Golden State win by 10 or 12 points. But I'm predicting Klay Thompson only being 80% healthy, and it is going to be a close game, a last-second shot. It's going to surprise you who the game-winning shot is. Let's say it's going to go to AI. Andre Iguodala, he will get the game-winning shot again, like he did in Game 2.
Well, no, I mean that's not necessarily surprising because Iguodala's hit big shots his whole career. Yeah, people are comparing him to Robert Horry. I think that's a little stretch. I think Robert Horry had a lot more game winners and game shots, but Iguodala's in that area. They feel confident. He feels confident with the game on the line and him shooting the shot.
There's a reason why they signed him.
Yeah, Danny Green is the same thing. Danny Green's not a great player, really good defensive player, but Danny Green hits a lot of big shots. I could see the ball falling to him or Fred VanVleet with 20 seconds left, and they're having to hit a 3-pointer or a long 20-foot jumper to win the game. Mm-hmm. And this on a little side note, Danny Green is 2 3-pointers away from passing up Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant for 6 all-time NBA Finals 3-point list. I think that's pretty impressive, man. Danny Green, this is his 3rd Finals, and he's climbing up that 3-point list in the Finals. But I mean, anybody could hit this shot. I mean, look, Steve Kerr hit big shots for the Bulls. Michael Jordan didn't always hit the game winner.
Right.
John Paxson hit the game-winning shot to win at Finals when Jordan and Pippen swung the ball around to him. I mean, the other people, Ray Allen shot. God, that haunts me for a while, but I was a little more upset before the Ray Allen shot. So the Ray Allen shot bothers me, but so many things had to happen for that even to get. It's almost like a fluke. But
right.
I mean, other people hit big shots, not necessarily just the star players. So you're 100% right. I mean, it could be VanVleet, could be Danny Green, could be Andre Iguodala, but we'll see tonight. Tonight's game is, man, this series is really must-see TV.
Yeah.
Great defense versus the Warriors, and the Warriors, like I said before this series, they haven't seen great defense like this in their 5-year run.
Yeah, and I said it when the Golden State was kind of they swept. Forget who they even played now. Portland, and I said this is going to be an easy series for them. But we're seeing what happens when you screw around in the first round and you play 6 games that you shouldn't be, or those 2 extra games that you shouldn't play.
Right.
Injuries happen, and that's exactly when KD got he put too much stress on his leg, and it's showing now, and it's catching up to them, and this is a complete opposite series of like what I like initially thought, 3 weeks ago. So I
So I
do,
got Toronto. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I have Golden State winning tonight in a close one, 3 less points. So let's
Cool.
say
Okay.
let's say a 2 point win by Golden State, 115-113.
I think it's low scoring than that. I think Toronto wins 100-98 on a Fred Van Fleet game winner. And my player to watch is Siakam. Um, he's been a little up and down, but he's playing Draymond Green, who's a pretty good defender.
Right.
He had a great first game, so second game, then came back with a really good third game. I mean, it's almost like it's weird. It's almost like they go as Siakam goes, not Kawhi Leonard,
Yeah.
because that Siakam Draymond Green matchup is one I want to watch, because here you have Siakam, is a couple inches taller, more athletic, and Draymond Green is just 6'7" hard nosed player, almost like a poor man's LeBron James, running around getting everybody involved. Siakam has to stop that crap. I wish I could give Siakam a pep talk before the game. Like, dude, Draymond Green's 6'7", he can't jump, and he's always out of shape. Do not let this guy beat you tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
My player to watch is going to be Klay Thompson. I'm kind of curious of if he's going to favor that leg any, or if he's going to have confidence in himself to be the player that he normally is. So probably that first 5 or 6 minutes of the first quarter, really watch for him, see what kind of groove he is in, see what kind of confidence like he is, and that will tell you the outcome of the game in the first 5 minutes. So let's 100% switch gears over here to the NFL. Carson Wentz did sign a $100 million contract with the Eagles, the fourth $100 million player contract signed in the NFL history here. Just to take some worth-noting sites here, Tom Brady is the 18th highest paid player in the NFL. And Carson Wentz is making more money than he is. So, first of all, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah. Well, not just Carson Wentz. There's 17 quarterbacks making more than Tom Brady, which is absolutely egregious, atrocious, whatever shush you want to throw out there. And really quick on a side note, I saw Tom Brady was working out with N'Keal Harry, their first-round pick, Arizona State. Watch out, people. N'Keal Harry, I think I'm going to make a prediction right now, gets 10 touchdowns. First-round draft pick, 6'2.5". Out of Arizona State, Tom Brady's new toy.
I believe you said that when they first got in draft, like that very next show. Yeah. You said, watch out for this guy. So
they're working out together. So that's good. Tom Brady's on it. The fact that Tom Brady's the 18th highest paid quarterback is it's not just atrocious and agree. It's weird. It's flat out weird.
Well,
listen.
Before you start your little rant there, let me weigh in on some insights. NFL does have a salary cap, and they do have to keep that salary cap. So if you want to win championships, sometimes you have to be, I'm going to take a little bit less money. We're going to bring in some more players, because think about this. Russell and the Seahawks, he's making what, $106 million. Who is going to come there for $3 million a year and play for him? He doesn't have any wide receivers. The defense is like aging. It is him.
Well,
so.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. That's what makes me mad about these NFL salary cap with the NFL contracts to quarterbacks. They need to have a separate salary cap for quarterbacks. I really believe that. Like, I don't think it can go into everybody else's cap. Carson Wentz is making $128 million over the next 4 years. That's $32 million a year. That's borderline ridiculous when you have a hard salary cap. Listen, Seattle's not going to win any more championships. They're playing Russell the reason they got to 2 Super Bowls is because they were paying Russell a few $100,000, and they were paying everybody else. Now Russell Wilson, I know he's a great player. He made the playoffs, lost to the Cowboys. I don't see Seattle getting back to the Super Bowl when you're paying a big chunk of your salary cap, maybe 20% of it.
Just add this to your fact. There are $400 million quarterbacks in the league.
Right.
Have any of them won a Super Bowl or made it to the playoffs since making that $100 million?
Matthew Stafford hasn't even won his division ever.
Exactly.
So you're paying too much money to these quarterbacks, and I think they need I think you need a quarterback salary cap, and then you need the 52-man roster salary cap. I really do believe that, because You cannot pay the quarterbacks this $120 million and then expect to have money for your offensive line and defensive line where the game's won in the trenches.
See,
I'd almost feel good.
see,
I'd almost good.
you see, like, and like that is where I totally don't agree with you, like at all. Why does a quarterback need $100 million? Is his value on the field 87 more million dollars than that tailback that he is handing the ball off to score the touchdown, or that $10 million wide receiver that he's throwing the ball to? No, like $100 million is an egregious amount of like cash. You do not need that much money in your pocket. Like, what are you going to do with $100 million? You're going to blow it on some blow and some hookers. So that's like, they need to just limit of like how much money they can. They almost need like a max, like a max yearly contract that they can sign.
Well, no, I mean the quarterback is more important. Let's just be honest, Michael, than the receiver and the running back.
A quarterback can throw it 85 yards, but if a wide receiver isn't there to catch the ball.
Well, I understand all that, but I mean, I understand, but like, there's a reason those guys get paid more. Just like DeMarcus Lawrence, the defensive ends get paid a lot of money too.
Right.
They put the other quarterback on their butt. I mean, that's why they're going to get the money. I kind of get all that. I mean, going to Carson Wentz
a little bit.
Yeah, going to Carson Wentz a little bit. He's making. I mean, the guy can't stay healthy. He's missed 13 games in his career, including the playoffs. Man, I'd almost feel guilty making $32 million a year, and I haven't finished the final 2 seasons.
Has he played a full season since he's been in the NFL?
I mean, he may have his rookie year, but then he wasn't that great. He wasn't Dak Prescott his rookie year. I can tell you that. So yeah, I mean, I come from old school, man. Steve Young used to give his game checks back because he didn't play.
Really?
Like. Yeah, I mean
that.
that's my attitude type. I'm old school like that. I would love to ask Steve Young, how would you like to get $132 million, right? Come into the locker room and see all these players, and you've been hurt the past 2 years. I'd feel kind of funny, to be honest. I'd be like, dang, I better earn this. I better live up to this. They're paying him for something he hasn't even done yet. But yeah, it's just an amazing contract. $32 million, 128. And I think they were saying with incentives it could go to $170 million.
Really?
Which is absolutely amazing.
Especially since he really hasn't done anything. Like, he didn't win their Super Bowl. No, like he got him there, I guess. Like you can say in theory, but he didn't win them.
Right. If Carson Wentz plays another 10 years and is a really, is a 5-time Pro Bowler, and the Eagles never make it back to the Super Bowl, like nobody in the history of football. Carson Wentz will have a ring.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he will get a ring. But nobody will say that's the Super Bowl quarterback. So, yeah, he knows that. And that's it. And he's got a lot of pressure on him to live up to this contract. He can't even stay healthy,
Well, as a Cowboys fan, I'm glad he signed that $160 million contract or however much it was, because Eagles don't have no more money to sign any good guys to put around him. Just you guys can just go ahead and put 2 wins, and the Cowboys call him every year for the next 10 years.
And then to prove your point, they couldn't pay the backup.
Yeah.
So Nick Foles is in Jacksonville. So now what happens when Carson Wentz gets hurt? Your season's done.
Yeah, they got Chase Daniels, I think, or something. I don't know where Chase Daniels is at now.
It wouldn't matter if they brought Vinny Testaverde back, from 70 years old. They're not going to win without Carson Wentz because there's no more Nick Foles. And so, so they didn't have enough money to pay Nick Foles. And part of that is, Nick Foles wanted to he wants to be his own team. He wants to have his own team. And I fully get that. And there's actually not a better place to go than Jacksonville for Nick Foles, to be honest.
That's a great situation he has.
That's another conversation. But just amazing. $128 million for a guy who can't stay on the field. But that's the going rate of the quarterbacks, the alleged great ones. Yeah. And I say alleged because he has not been great for a full season. Sometimes your best availability.
He was great for 13 games the year they won the Super Bowl, and then he tore his ACL. So
yeah, sometimes your best ability is your availability, and he hasn't been available. And it's funny is if you ever look at the stats, the numbers side by side, with Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has them beat touchdown interception ratio, wins, quarterback rating. And man, I worry now about the Cowboys. This kind of makes me worry a little bit here because if you look at the numbers and the man that can stay healthy, Dak Prescott's been better than he. Listen, you could say Carson Wentz has the much better arm talent than Dak Prescott. That's fine. Marino had a better arm than a lot of the quarterbacks, right? When you look at what Dak Prescott's done, his body of work in his career, he's won more games than anybody except Tom Brady. His touchdown interception ratio is better than Carson Wentz.
Well, let me stop you right there because I just saw something that he is willing to take less money in his next contract to be a Cowboy for life. So if that's any true, I mean, you have to think positive here.
I think so. Yes, I think so. I think he'll get a little bit more money than DeMarcus Lawrence got. I'm hoping they can just get Dak around that, 110 million for like 5 years or something. You know what I mean? Like golly, that's still a lot of money, but I mean, you have to pay these guys. But I hope that Dak takes less money, man. I mean, he realizes his situation and trying to get to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think Dak, I don't think he's greedy. I mean, this is a man that's made, a few $100,000 the last 3 years and done really well. So I don't think Dak Prescott's a greedy person at all. I think I think his contract, even though he may deserve better than Wentz, the numbers say so and his availability says so. So he deserves more money. I think that Dak Prescott's contract will probably be about $20 million less than Carson Wentz's contract. And bravo if that happens.
Right. And I think he realizes that their opportunity to win right now is present for the next 5 or 6 years because they got Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, both in their primes. So if if you can't offer money to those two guys, and you're taking $100 million, your Super Bowl chances are out the window 100%. So I think he's a smart enough guy to understand that.
Right. Well, let me tell you. Sometimes people. I know you said it, and you're correct in saying it. For the next 5 years, I mean, we have Dak Prescott, and we have Amari Cooper. We have a nucleus. DeMarcus Lawrence is still young. Mm-hmm. But man, I don't do the NFL like that. The NFL is too cutthroat.
You're right.
The NFL. No. What I do, to be honest, this is me, and then you'll get to know this. I take every year on a year-by-year basis, Super Bowl or bust. I'm talking about. I can't. It's hard to project in the NFL. It's not like the NBA where we sign 3 guys and we can then win the next 6 championships. Man, the NFL is absolutely nuts. Like, you better try to win this year.
You're right.
You better try to win. You can go from worst to first in the NFL. There is no like, oh, well, when Dak is 30, we're still going to be – I have no idea.
Yeah.
So, in other words, next year, Dallas really has no weaknesses. With Jason Witten coming back and the draft they had and the signing of Randall Cobb and other players getting DeMarcus Lawrence under contract. I like the Christian Covington signing, a defensive tackle. Dallas really is made to win the Super Bowl this year.
They are.
They can get it done this year. So I take this on a year-by-year basis, and Dallas doesn't have any weakness. Well, I worry about the future years after we'll worry about that in January and February. Mm-hmm. But I'm not saying your assessment is not correct. For the next 5 years, you have Dak Prescott, you have a young nucleus, you will have a chance, but I just do it kind of year-by-year basis.
Yeah, you are 100% right on that. And just to add to the weakness point there, the weakest part of the team is a strong safety spot, or the safeties in general spot. Yeah. And honestly, Heath is probably still better than half of the league. He's still a pretty solid at his spot. I mean, like, he is not above the 50%, but he's not very much lower than that either. So I would take that over, a lot of the other secondaries.
Yeah, and Xavier Woods is coming into his own. I can't wait to see how he progresses. And then they signed George Iloka from the I keep on saying the Bengals because he played his whole career with the Bengals, and he signed with the Vikings. I think they signed George to push Heath a little bit. I think George is going to start. I think Heath is still probably make the team, but they didn't sign George Iloka just for fun. I think they want him to supplant Heath and push Heath, and I think that's a good possibility. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. If the one weakness is that safety position for the Cowboys, that might be. Mm-hmm. Jordan Lewis also, I think, can play the safety. You can move Byron Jones back to safety. I think Dallas has enough good young quarters with Chidobe and um, oh my God, I'm forgetting names here, but yeah, they have good enough corners. Brown's a good corner. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens. Anthony Brown, it's the name I was forgetting. Um, so you could move. There's a lot of flexibility there. There's a lot of corners. Like I mentioned, Jordan Lewis can play safety or corner. Um, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you had to point to a weakness, it might be Xavier Woods and George Iloka and Jeff Heath at the safeties. That might be the only weakness. You're right.
Right. And speaking of Super Bowls, Le'Veon Bell did finally get in a Jets uniform. He does look; those helmets look pretty nice. Like I really like the Jets helmets. That's the only thing nice about the Jets right now.
Right.
But Le'Veon Bell is talking Super Bowl for New York Jets about
Oh my
bringing
goodness.
bringing a championship to New York and his team and yada yada yada. Um, Jets haven't won a Super Bowl in 48 or 49 years. Uh,
Yeah.
just thrown out there.
1969.
You
Yeah.
guys need to worry about beating the Patriots before, or
Yeah.
just winning your division in general before you talk about winning a Super Bowl. First of all, what do you think about Le'Veon Bell and that Jets situation? He only did take $2 more million a year to go from a Super Bowl possibly contending Pittsburgh Steelers to a 5-win team in the Jets. Max, like that. That's me thinking this year. I think they're going to get five wins. Do you
Right.
think he's even a good fit there? Like, should he use his body in his prime right now to be on a struggling Jets team to never win a Super Bowl?
Well, look, I think it's a really good fit. I think Sam Darnold, the young quarterback, needs a Le'Veon Bell, and I was shocked that he looked in great shape. To be honest, he looked fabulous.
Yes.
Now we'll see. He's a 17-month layoff, so we'll see how fabulous he looks. Because there's nothing more than you have to be in game shape. You can do all the running and running on the beach and running everywhere, but football, you're getting hit. And the stamina issue. I mean, he might get 15 carries that first game, and then he'll tap his helmet ready to come out of there. I think it's. I listen. The Jets are not going to win any Super Bowl. They're not going to win one with Le'Veon Bell. I seriously doubt it. A lot of things would have to happen. I mean, this is the NFL, though. I mean, anybody can win this thing. You can go from worst to first. You can if Tom Brady falls off the cliff this year finally. But we'll see what happens. I like the Jets nucleus. But that being said, I mean, they're not winning. Listen, they win 7 games. I mean, you can throw a parade. They win 8 games. I if I was the mayor, I'd throw a parade. But they've got a good nucleus. I like Leonard Williams, their defensive stud and the defensive line there. They have some decent receivers, Robbie Anderson and Anukwa. And I really like Sam Darnold. I really do. And then giving him Le'Veon Bell, that's a pretty good thing there. But
Yeah.
they're not winning anything. Like they go to 7 games. Like I said, they win 8 games, throw a parade. And real quick, I don't know if you heard about the Le'Veon Bell situation. While he's at practice, he has 2 girlfriends at his apartment, and they stole $550,000 worth of jewelry of his. And so when he got there, when he got home, the jewelry's gone and his 2 girlfriends are gone.
Two girlfriends.
Really?
Two girlfriends.
Yeah, 2 girlfriends. Le'Veon, see, that's my fear of Le'Veon Bell. He's worse than Ezekiel Elliott. We'll have to put we'll have to put like the Secret Service following Le'Veon Bell. Worse than Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe the Jets and the Cowboys can coordinate and we can switch off on Secret Service detail, see who's following who.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, dude, you have 2 girlfriends, and then you're already putting them in your house where you have that jewelry where they can rip you off. These girls are probably destitute, Michael, like their whole lives. Otherwise, you don't steal like that.
No.
I know the mentality, man. How I grew up. I mean, those girls are like, look, this is our chance. He's probably not going to marry either one of us, right? We're just like toys to him when he gets home. Let's take his stuff and let's get out of Dodge. And that's what they did. And if the girls were smart, they wouldn't have. They would have given them. They would actually get rid of their phones and go. Am I missing in action? These girls, and they have $500,000 worth of his jewelry. But that's Le'Veon Bell's dumbass fault for having 2 girls have access to get in his apartment. Think about this, Michael. Just hypothetically, you divorce your wife. Terrible situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you give a couple of months later? Would you give like 2 females access to where your son lives and where you put all your stuff at night? No.
No. I mean, like, I wouldn't even do one. Like
Right.
not two. I mean,
I mean, it's
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
we're going to
yeah,
do a little round session table here. Okay,
yeah.
you need one girlfriend. You don't need
Right.
two. There's going to be jealousy issues. They're going to team up against you, and they're going to steal
Right.
$500 worth of jewelry. Let me be your
500,000.
doctor. Yeah, let me be your Dr. Phil, man. Don't do that.
I mean, dude, yeah, you got
Come
to be
on.
shaky. Yeah. When he shows up at practice the next day, all the players have to be looking at him, going,
Oh,
just shaking it. Oh man.
like, man, you should have had
I mean,
three girlfriends. Maybe one of them would have said no. Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Even one girlfriend giving her access to all
yeah.
that stuff, to
Oh,
all your personal stuff. I mean, that's a risky. It depends on how long he knew them and all that. But the fact that it was two, their two minds got together, the two girls, and said, "Hey, man, he's not going to want either one of us long term. Let's start stealing some stuff." And that's exactly what they did. But that's all on Le'Veon Bell for
yeah.
being a dumbass, basically.
If he was in Steelers, he probably wouldn't have that issue because there's not that many good girls floating
Oh, they're
around
not. Yeah, New
Pittsburgh.
York, New York, New York. It was better pickings there, right? There's probably
Right,
4 million
right.
girls in New York to choose from. So he couldn't go home with one. He chose two.
Exactly. But 2 plus 1 equals 3 weeks, and that's exactly how far the NBA draft is. 3 weeks away. So just
Yeah.
throwing it out there. Maybe on
Oh,
Monday or Tuesday we can get the rest of your mock
right.
draft 2.0. So guys,
Yeah,
tune in next week for that.
and then Atlanta acquired another first round pick. They had the 8th pick, the 10th pick, and now they have the 18th pick
There you guys
because
go.
they gave Torian Prince up, which is I think Torian Prince is a hell of a player to give him up. They got back Alan Crabb. Alan Crabb's a great shooter, but we'll
Hmm.
talk about that now. Atlanta next week. Now Atlanta has 3 first round picks. I mean, I would love to be the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks to play with all these toys that he has.
Yeah. So guys, we got maybe a week and a half more of NBA Finals talk, a little bit more of draft picks, and then NFL is in full swing, and that's when my blood starts to flow really strong. It's
Yes.
it's, it's like
Oh
NFL talk.
man. Yeah.
So for tonight's game, I got Golden State in a close one. Marcus has Raptors in a close one. Um, I'm going to go out on a limb say if this is a 3-1 series lead for the Raptors going back to Toronto, this will be a 5-game win for the Toronto.
Yeah.
So this is a must-win situation for the Golden State. But we'll talk about that more on Monday's show. So guys, have a good weekend, and we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good day.
All right, man.